Hi, and welcome to Need to Know. There are countless books on the subject of personal finance. If one wanted to, one could spend a lifetime reading them. Some are excellent, while others are just inspirations and only somewhat informative. Personal finance is rather straightforward. We can gain a great deal of information by learning more about financial planning and personal finance in general. In addition, there is a plethora of materials accessible that teach money management and financial literacy. While some of these materials are useful, others offer poor advice. That makes it tough to sort through and find the information that matters. The resources emphasize the need to adhere to sound personal financial standards, a topic explored in depth. However, how do you know that these principles will actually be successful for you? There aren't always universal answers to our problems. Many times you just have to try things out and see what works. The best financial strategy for one person may not be the best for another. Keeping this in mind, we have already completed the first step in sorting the good from the bad for you. We've explored the opinion of several experts in the field of personal finance to understand some of the concepts they found useful in their own lives and those they believe others should follow. But before we begin, take a second and hit those subscribe and bell buttons. This would help us bring more amazing and helpful content to you. Now, without any further ado, let's get right into it. Number 5, don't spend more than you make. This first principle is, by a wide margin, the most significant of all the others. The only way you will ever succeed is if your earnings are more than your monthly spending each month. Instead of living from paycheck to paycheck or falling further into debt because you can't pay your expenses, you can save money for the future if you spend less than you make. This will allow you to avoid situations in which you can't pay your payments. A piece of advice is to put away at least 20% of your salary in a savings account with a reputable financial institution. Most individuals should strive toward that objective, but if you can put away even more money, you should do so. Number 4, earn as much as you can. The easiest approach to saving more money, rather than trying to save every last penny, is to increase your income, which is something that isn't discussed nearly enough in the realm of personal finance. There's a limit to how many bucks you can save by simply cutting back on your expenditures. It is possible to make concessions here and there, but this strategy won't work in the long run. You will, at some time in the future, get to the point where no more cuts can be made. It is considerably more effective to seek ways to increase your income as opposed to attempting to get wealthy via careful financial planning. You may increase the amount of money coming into your household by beginning a side business, freelancing your services, obtaining a salary increase at your current employment, or negotiating a raise. Number 3, think of the worst-case scenario. Emergencies are an inevitable part of daily life. They have the potential to be quite expensive for you if you are not prepared for them. 2 strategies exist for ensuring financial stability in the face of unforeseen costs: putting money into a fund to be used in case of emergency, making certain that you have all of the required coverages for your insurance. The money in your emergency fund is the cash you will use to pay any unanticipated bills that may come your way. Your emergency fund should be enough to cover at least 3 months and preferably up to 6 months worth of living costs. It will take some time to save that much money, but even a small amount is better than having none. Open a savings account with a high interest rate and deposit whatever amount you are able to afford each month into it to get your emergency fund off the ground. People frequently try to save money by not taking appropriate insurance policies, only to regret their decision when they are faced with a hefty cost in the future. You should at least have these things: insurance for medical care, insurance for private residences, whether rented or owned, and auto insurance. Number 2, gain credit history. Your credit score may greatly influence many aspects of your life, whether you like it or not. It'll be an important factor to consider if you ever want to obtain one of the best credit cards or borrow money at an interest rate that is favorable to you. However, that is not the only thing that it can do. Your credit history can also influence the rates you pay for auto insurance, whether or not you are required to make a deposit when setting up your utilities, and even whether or not you are recruited for certain professions. There is some misconception concerning credit scores. Nevertheless, the good news, however, is that it's not difficult to construct your own credit score. You will need a credit card that you use regularly and pay off in full every single month in order to demonstrate that you can manage your finances when it comes to borrowing money. Secured credit cards are a good place to begin if you have had trouble getting approved for other types of credit cards. You should make it a point to pay your payments on time and to avoid depleting your available credit too quickly. These are the fundamentals that must be present to have a good credit score. Number 1, invest in your future. The majority of individuals don't start thinking seriously about retirement until far later in life than they should. The earlier you begin making deposits into a retirement account, the better off you will be in the long run. It's of the utmost importance that you begin putting away money for your retirement as soon as possible and take advantage of the tax savings available through 401ks and individual retirement accounts, also known as IRAs. The most effective method for amassing wealth is through the use of compound interest, and you will allow your money plenty of time to accrue this type of interest. The fact that you put anything away for your retirement each month is an essential thing here. When you look back on your life, you'll be glad that you made a practice to save money aside, whether it was $50, $100, or more than $1,000. Your contributions will double several times over the course of your career if you invest the money sensibly and follow sound financial practices. Personal finance does not have to be difficult. To a large extent, the accumulation of many tiny efforts over time yields the most significant results. You need to start somewhere, and building a set of personal finance habits, values, and principles like these is a great place to begin. We hope that you enjoyed our short list of personal finance principles. That is it for today. What are your thoughts about our list? Do you practice or follow some other principles? If so, why not share them in the comment section below? If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with everything you need to know. Thanks for watching. Congrats on taking control of your personal finances. See you in the next video.